I am Sammy Curzella, Community Librarian here at Deschutes Public Library, and I'm so excited that you've joined me because today we are going to make a Phases of the Moon wall hanging. So let's get started. In your program kit, you are going to find a glue stick to glue your moons together. You're going to find a couple of paint pots with both gold and silver paint. You're going to find string so that you can hang it afterwards, a foam paintbrush for applying said paint, and 2 sets of the moons. Now that I have these all lined up and looking at each other, kind of in reverse images, that they're mirrored images, I guess we could call them, I'm going to glue both sides and place my string in. So I'm going to open up my string to begin with and kind of find about the halfway point, and I'm just going to get that ready so that I can glue it in. And I'm actually going to start with, I think I'm going to start with my moon in the middle so that I can kind of space them out properly. Okay, so we have it all glued now, and even though we're using a glue stick, we do want to make sure that it is fully dried before we paint, or else it'll make the paper bend. And you'll notice that it's also kind of starting to just like curl a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, if you have this, it's not required, I'm going to put down a little bit of parchment paper and then fold it over it and stack a couple of books on it to give it a little pressure to keep it flat while it's drying. Once your glue's all dry, the next stage is to paint it. And really, you can use whatever technique you want. You could mix the colors together, you could paint different colors on each side, whatever you want. Thinking about it, I think that I'm going to paint this side gold and the other side silver, and maybe kind of sponge on a little bit of the opposite color at the end once it's all dry. So I have a little bit of wax paper that I'm going to put my paint on because I don't have those really cool paint pots like you have. So I'm just going to squirt a little bit out. That's probably too much, but here we go. So I have my first coat on my moons, and it looks pretty good. It's fully covered. The paint is a little thinner, so I personally am probably going to do a second coat, just so that I can't see through at all to the paper, and because I really want that like strong gold color. But you, of course, can do whatever you want because you are the artist. Okay, I have my second coat down. I'm going to let it dry for a little bit, and then I might come back with a little bit of silver. So that means while I'm letting it dry, I'm going to take the time to clean my paintbrush out, and I'm going to do that with just some hot water in the sink. just to make sure that gets all out. And then I'll use maybe a paper towel to make sure that I got all of the color out so that I don't have any transfer of color in the next phase. And then the final step there is to make sure that you have your paintbrush dried completely, because this type of paint, we don't need water. Alright, my paintbrush is now dry, and I'm just going to add a tiny bit of this silver just along one of the edges for a little bit of definition, I think. I'm going to get some of it off my paintbrush so that it's super light. Now I'm going to wash my paintbrush again, and then I'm going to let this dry a little bit longer and flip it over and paint the other side. So the other side is all dry, and I'm going to start painting my other side silver. You'll notice a few of them got a little bit of the gold on the back. I'm not too worried about that because I could even do some more gold accents on this side, so here we go. Alright, so now they're all painted. I, of course, can go back and do another cut if I want to, which I might do a couple little touch-ups, but all in all, it looks pretty good. So I'm going to let it dry. You'll notice that they're kind of curling a little bit, so once they get completely dry, I might put them under a book again just to kind of flatten them out, but we'll see. I do want to put a little bit of gold on these because I think that looked pretty before, so we'll see what it's looking like after that. Alright, we are back. I did do a second coat because I noticed that it relaxed the paper a little bit so that it wasn't curling quite so much. So that's definitely something to think about if you have that issue. Otherwise, I can still easily put them under a book to flatten it out at the end of this. I am going to go back and add just a tiny bit of gold just as accent. I mean, you could definitely do like just a light layer of gold over the whole thing, but I think I'm just going to do the edges again. Et voila, we are done. That's it. You have made your wall hanging, and now you can hang it up on the wall in your bedroom. You could hang it up in front of a window, in front of your desk, wherever you think it's going to look best. This is kind of a great spooky decoration, maybe even outside, out front in a front window or something, just to kind of play into the seasonal spirit. Thank you all for joining me today. I had a lot of fun making our phases of the moon wall hanging. Here I've just hung it vertically, and I love that you can see the different colors from both sides just to add a little bit of even more depth to it. And if you can, if you have a social media account or if your parents do, we'd love to see your creation. So post online and tag Deschutes Public Library, and we just want to see your creation. So good luck and have fun.